Hi, thanks for joining me in today's edition with you guys. We are going to analyze the state of insecurity and Islamization of the Nigerian state. I want you to know very clearly that nothing can stop the Islamization of Nigeria except the division. Except there is division of organization of the Nigerian state, nothing can stop the Islamization of Nigeria. The Islamization of Nigeria is a Islamic global agenda to Islamize the entire West African region or province. This informed the reason why the IS, the Islamic State of West African province, the sister chapter of the IS, was formed to make sure that they facilitate the Islamization of the southwestern African region, starting with Nigeria. They have only one global agenda to restore the global Islamic world, or for the Islamic world to rule the world. With what is going across the globe, you can understand the advancement and the systematic and strategic push and move being carried out by the Islamic world and nations propagating this religious ideology, which will reflect or translate into political ideology. With what is going on now, of recent, you saw how the Muslim ticket was pushed and, of course, was forced on everyone. It is just running the application on how Nigeria would finally be collapsed into Islamization agenda. Of most recent, you have seen there have been several scholars, Islamic scholars or radicals, calling for the Islamization of the southwestern region of the Yoruba land. That if that is achieved, it means the southern region already has been partly conquered by the Islamic agenda. You see what is playing out now. Already, this northern region has already been conquered by the Islamic agenda. When you consider the politicians, prominent politicians, opinion leaders, and thoughts in the north are being controlled by the Islam. Where is the population of the Christian states in the north? We have Christians predominant in the north, but they have lost their voice. They have lost their voice when it comes to economic, political issues or matters that borders on national scale. Not just losing their voice, they are even losing their opportunity of expressing themselves within the Nigerian state, which under the book in papers is considered to be a secular state, but in practice an Islamic state, because Islamic religion is being given more preference in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. More emphasis is laid on the Islam than that of Christian, which invariably suggests that there is imbalance in the system, that Nigeria, the secularity of the Nigerian state should be questioned. Unfortunately, those who should do better are dozing the sleep of death. The Christians who should have called up, questioned the status quo, defied, of course, whatever arrangement that had been playing underground or been inducted in the process, they are not questioning it. Only to wake up to discover that Nigeria is tilting towards Islamization. Now, In Delta State, just a few days ago, you saw what transpired out, where the Christian community or church were holding their vigil, were observing their vigil, or what we call the night vigil. The Fulanese terrorists rounded them up and met away with them. When one of the pastors wanted to resist, they shot him dead and, of course, moved with other people to the bush. They could only return after ransom was paid. And what that means, they are test running. When you design an app or a program, you want to test run it, how that will play out. Now, for the Fulani terrorists or the Islamic foot soldiers deployed in southern part of Nigeria, this is not just the southwest now. They have almost infiltrated the southwestern region. They are now moving down to the eastern region of the country, which is predominantly the Igbos, which happens to be the last push, the last conquest, the last target that needed to be subdued before every other ethnic nationality will collapse. So if they are now test running their programs on how to conquer the southeastern region or the eastern region, and they are succeeding, abducting people, you paid ransom with your own money, they use it to recruit themselves, to buy more ammunition, to still fight you. It means your security has been breached. That is the state of vulnerability. They have succeeded in making sure that they transform their activities to make the eastern regions vulnerable to the point that nobody can come to the rescue of the easterners. Not even the governors, who already people has lost confidence in, not even the politicians are helping issues. You begin to ask, when has people lost their right to religious liberty, religious expression in Nigeria today? If Nigeria still claims to be a secular state, these questions, those who are supposed to ask these questions are busy deceiving themselves. Now, it is a matter of free for all fight. Everybody to himself, God's for us all. If you don't let the devil takes you, it's just the victim of yesterday, of the victim of today was self yesterday. So if that is happening unchecked, unchecked, in Imo State, in Enugu State, in Anambra State, in Delta State, in Ebonyi State, people are being adopted in their own vicinity, locality, to pay ransom. If they are spared, well, that is fortunate for them. If not, they are being killed if that ransom is being paid. That is exclusive dominance. They have been able to infiltrate the security architecture, capture the security system, and now they are now going directly to usurp the entire liberty or the freedom of the people. This is in line with Islamic conquest or Islamic agenda, as they believe that they are waiting for the rule, the world rule or king who will rule under Islamic laws or Sharia, who will govern the world under Islamization. So it is not just peculiar to Nigeria. So this is a global agenda, and the only thing that could truncate that is the division of the Nigerian states. Have you wondered why is the government helpless over this issue? The government of Nigeria is helpless. The Islamic or the Muslim politicians understand, some Muslim scholars understand what is playing out. The belief is in line with the program of Islam, to subdue any region that does not obey the tenets of Islam. They are being considered as infidel that does not deserve to live. Do you understand that? And that is what the Islamic global rule will project. Any person or group of people who do not subject themselves to the dictate of Islamization and its tenets of faith will be exterminated. Unfortunately, most regions or nations who were once predominantly Christian states or nations has been Islamized, has been systematically, strategically conquered. The likes of Turkey, Jordan, and the rest of them are living testimonies of the fact how were they able to succeed. These are systematic, strategic approach, controlling the resources, preserving the liberty of the people, and gradually exterminating them under the disguise of anyone who do not believe in Allah should be considered as infidel. Now, the politicians of the southern region are cashing out, unfortunately, to their own chagrin, to their own utter dismay. Having seen the danger, of course, this is religious ideology portends not just to their own people, but to themselves. Because once they are done with you, you betray your own people, definitely those who you helped to betray or sold out your people will never have trust in you. They will definitely pick you up and do whatever they so desire with you. So if, as it stands now, the governors, the politicians are helpless, the security operatives are helpless. Now, what happens if total Islamization of Nigeria is being declared? Just as the North are pushing, the Islamic scholars are pushing for Islamization of the Nigerian state, which is the top priority in the in the heart of every Islamic politician. Resource control or economic or political control or power is being sought for to project and propagate the Islamic agenda. Nothing less, nothing short of this. While the churches in Nigeria are busy, engrossed with activities that does not encourage unity of purpose among Christians, competing with each other, building cathedrals and the rest of them, only to abandon them to the enemies, whose primary responsibility is to exterminate Christianity within the Nigerian state. A time will come when they have done with all the believers or Christian faithfuls in Nigeria. You don't bother, of course, we attend those cathedrals again. Or when they have instilled fears in the hearts of men, nobody will be out to go to the church. But you left Christian issues untouched. Why should a Nigerian citizen be losing his liberty under democratic setting? The right to religious liberty is gradually fizzling off, fizzling away. And nobody's asking questions. Everybody wants to protect his the denomination, his own title and entitlement, and the rest of that. Go and ask Turkey, who was once Christian state, Jordan, who was once Christian state, how they ended up becoming Islamized. That is just the case. So what is happening now? The reintegration of Boko Haram, the Islamic militias, into the Nigerian security architecture tests better then we could just explain. If not, why not de-radicalize the ESN, Eastern Security Network, or the Biafran Defense Force, or whatever, of course, the agitators, militias, and reintegrate them into the Nigerian force? It's only specifically designed program for the Boko Haram. And who are the Boko Haram? Against Western education. They are pushing against Westernization in favor of Islamization. So you never ask question, why are they the only one that should be de-radicalized and reintegrated into the Nigerian security architecture? By so doing, they are already rounding up the security architecture to make sure that they are fully in control of such. This is, of course, verifiable, and by what is happening, most especially during the era of Buhari, that invited the Fulanis across all walks of life, across the Sahel, to come for a feed day in Nigeria. So whatever is happening, unfortunately, the Christian or the Southerners are still asleep. Why evil? The enemies are sowing seed. So now in Delta State, imagine Delta State is no longer safe for Christians to observe vigils, their own religious processions, and the rest of them. Now, if vigils are no longer safe, where else could be safe? Not even your house, your residential settlings were safe. It's just a matter of time you will be rounded up, and whatever happens, of course, it's only the survivor will tell the story. And somebody is asking me here, is a old video. Old video that you are not aware of the security state of Nigeria today. You are not aware that even some intelligent security experts had given their advices that except Nigeria divides or is being splitted, the Islamization agenda, nothing can stop it. And some people, they say it's old story. It's old story, old news. But starting at us with the potency of either marrying us or destroying us. In either way, it depends on the choice you have made. So this is an issue of concern to anybody who cares to know. You might think, okay, I'm not within the Nigerian state. Of course, wherever you are, you can't run away from this. If you are exonerating yourself from such, you have your acquaintances, dependents, relatives, and whatever affiliations linked to you down here in Nigeria. So what people are calling that stringent issues to be taken, people should defend themselves, just as the current DSS boss expressed that the military can be everywhere to defend themselves because they have more intelligence, classical information that could not be privy to the public. But the public might not be privy to, and then the rest is history. Let's have your own take regarding this development and the way you think such could be addressed as a matter of urgency. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel because the time is ticking. What is it by a time? No time to waste time.